So, how about 52 ways to achieve success in real estate? Today, we're going to have a special guest, author, speaker, mentor, philanthropist, podcast host, and of course, top 1% real estate agent. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Mike Ferrante in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland. Go to 21mike.com if you want to hit me up. And of course, hit subscribe to follow us. We have another version of Best Advice Ever, where we talk to real estate professionals, brokers, agents, team leaders from all over the country and soon all over the world. Stay tuned for that. And today I've got an awesome guest. I've really been looking forward to this. We're going to talk about ways to succeed in real estate and really focus on collaboration today. So how helping others can actually help you be successful in the business. So I alluded to this. Wow, just amazed to have you on the show, Debbie. Author, top 1% or in real estate. Debbi DiMaggio, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is wonderful.
Yeah, so I understand your office is in Piedmont, and that's San Francisco Bay Area. So,
Yes,
I know you're with Corcoran Real Estate, but let me allow you to do that introduction. Tell us about your business, about your team.
sure. So my husband and I have worked together for 30, almost 35 years. We celebrated our 33rd anniversary this year, and I think that's very much of a unicorn to be work together and married. We work very differently. He likes to be front and center at his office at his desk, and I kind of like to float around and do my podcast from my living room and then run out and meet a client and wherever. I like to be on the move. And then our son now works with us. He's 29 and he's been working with us, and it's been amazing. It was a COVID fallout story. He wasn't planning to, but he got his license and decided to stay and not go back to Colorado where he went to school. So it is a family affair. When I was growing up, the only thing I knew I did not want to do, I didn't know what I wanted to do. The only thing I did not want to do was real estate because my father was in real estate. Now he has his dream. He has my brother working with him. We've been in real estate, our son. So the only person not in real estate right now is our daughter, but she's in New York on the working for Hearst. But so yeah, so we have an office. So Corcoran is we have part of, I think it's 25 or 28 offices in Northern California, and we're partners with the Corcoran office. I have to back up for a minute. In 2009, in the recession, we launched a real estate company, Highland Partners, and people would ask us, "Do you know it's a recession?" And we would say, "Well, we wouldn't have the opportunity if it wasn't. If it doesn't work out, we'll go back to our former companies." So we launched Highland Partners, and then right, I guess it was during COVID, we partnered with Corcoran, so we would have broader reach and a bigger company. And it's been really great because we're part of the whole Corcoran family that is not only national, it's international. And so within our two offices, my husband is the broker. He oversees about 80 agents. I'm the marketing director and coach, try to inspire people and help them where they need it. And then Adam and I are the team leads of DiMaggio Betta Group. And again, we've been working together for years and it works. There's a little fighting once in a while, but disagreements, but it pretty much works because I usually get my way.
Right. Yes, I get that. So hugely successful in real estate. So let's start with that. And then, of course, taking all that experience and knowledge and giving back in the form of books, philanthropy. But just real quick, I know you're a humble person, but just tell us real quick about these accolades. I read top 1%, top 1.5%. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So, tell everybody like about your production a little bit.
Yeah, so when I first started in sales, the first year, well, I was going to start to mentor under someone and I started for a while, but then right after, I believe in don't try to reinvent the wheel, just follow the advice of people who've come before you. So I was working under Connie for a little bit and then slowly I'm not even slowly, fast, I started just getting it and doing it and someone would tell me how to write the offer and how I should do it, and I did it. And so within the first year, it was a very small company. They never took new people. I was the youngest to ever start at this company, and there it was again very small, and all the people there were from our small town, and so everyone was very connected. We knew a lot of the same people. Well, my broker didn't tell me, but I learned from these two staff members. They said, Debbie, you're in the top 10. And this was in a very powerful office. So that was year one. And then over the years, real estate has grown. There's so many real estate agents. So at one point I was top 1% and now 1.5%, who knows? I don't really pay attention to numbers. I pay attention to helping people. And we're also, you're in Cleveland, I'm in the East Bay. A guest I interviewed on my podcast yesterday sold a $40 million house. We don't have $40 million houses here. So it's so relative wherever you are. For me, success is working with other people and working as a team. Real estate is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. It's about collaboration. It's about having fun. It's about helping people. So I've never calculated a commission. I literally help people to move into their next chapter. And then I continue to try to do that again and continue helping people. It's just part of who I am. We've met lots of agents and they run differently, and a lot of them run real estate like a business, but it's not a business for me. It's a lifestyle. And of course, it provides me my lifestyle, but it's something that I just love to do, and it comes easy. If it doesn't resonate with you, real estate, being a realtor and doing what we have to do in order to gain business and trust, you can't do it because we work around the clock and you have to love it too. I've been up since 4 working on my brand and my business.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. So interesting. I think like-minded people tend to attract each other. So between
Yes.
you and Gary Wilson and me, we have that
Yeah.
same sort of philosophy that this is a business about helping people, about solving problems. And yes, the more people you help, the more problems you solve, the more income you seem to generate, right? I mean,
Right.
that's
Right.
just how it is. So you have an interesting philosophy. And by the way, I read something else on one of your websites that luxury is not a price range. It's all about the service.
Right.
It's a more of a philosophy, right?
Yeah, luxury is a service, not a price point.
Yeah, I love that. And so, you mentioned 40 million, we're selling $40,000 properties
Yeah.
here. And that is not just dirt, that's a house. Like,
Right.
yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
anyway, so I have a great quote that I'm going to read that is a perfect segue into collaboration and how this philosophy of giving, helping is actually a good business practice as well. And so you say when we give, we receive many times over, and giving back creates positive energy. And you have this whole presentation all about collaboration and how it's actually good for business too. What is that mindset? Like some people are going to say, no, we're against each other. I got to step on
Right.
the next guy so that I can rise up. How can collaboration be a good business practice, Debbie?
Right. Well, nowadays, this giving and receiving is so huge, and Dr. Ivan Meisner talks about it. It's what you learn in BNI
Giver's
now.
gain.
Giver's gain. And then I was so fortunate enough to interview Bob Berg, and he talks about he's the Go Giver author, co-author of the Go Giver. But years ago, ever since I was young, it must have been my family who instilled that, but I've always loved giving and helping. I mean, one of the things I wrote down before I got into real estate, I was 25 and I didn't know what I wanted to do. The first thing that was on my checklist was helping others. And of course, meeting people came, and meeting people of different cultures and all these different things. But helping others was just the core of who I was and who I am. And so it became something that was just what I did. Only now do I realize I'm doing what people are writing about. So early on, before I even was in BNI or learned about, the giving and receiving, I when I was that, top 10 at that first year of my sales career, I just said, I'm going to endear myself to the agent on the other side. I was new, so when you're new, you have more buyers than listings, right? So I was going to befriend that person. I was going to be kind to that person. I was going to do whatever that person wanted me to do as much as I can based on what my clients wanted to do, what they wanted, how they wanted to write the offer, what it was. And so I tried to make it easy so people would want to work with me. So I did that I mean, there was no training on that. That just was something how I wanted to be of service and to be of kindness and to help. And then when I go forward, wow, I look back and I train on that and I coach that and I talk about the first thing in my coaching to the young ones are the new agents. I say, go out and start meeting the agents. Go on tour, let them know who you are, let them know you're connected to Adam and I, try to make yourself relevant as a new person so you're connected to someone, right? So and another thing, people say, "Oh, should I accept the friend request on LinkedIn or Facebook?" I'm like, "Oh my God, are yes, you want to build your relationship." And not only for helping you sell houses and get your deals through with your clients, or maybe getting that edge of there's a counter out there, multiple counter, and they want you to get it the other side because they know you're going to make it easy for them to work with. So there's just so many ways it comes back. I get calls from time to time from people I don't even know, and they said, "Well, I'm going to be doing a deal in your area, but I don't understand the sewer lateral ordinance. Can you explain that to me?" And so I went on and explained this whole thing to her. And then she said, "You know what? I called 5 agents and no one would return my call. No one would answer my question." And
Hmm.
I was like, it was so easy. So I believe, so going from the collaboration to the when you give, it comes back. I helped that person. I wasn't thinking I was helping that because I was going to get something. I wasn't going to maybe co-list it or do anything. I did it to help her, went on with my life. And then things do come back in different ways. They manifest in different ways. So I just believe in giving and things always come back. It's just the core of who I am and how I operate.
Yeah, I love that philosophy, and we're very much alike in that way. I love putting free content out there, and if that helps
Yes.
an agent be successful, the next time I interact with them, it's usually a positive experience. So
Right.
you said something about going out into the world and actually meeting people face to face. I think that
Yes.
the business has evolved to this virtual world where everything is a text or an electronic signature. Talk about that for a second. What is the value in meeting people face to face? I think a lot of agents, especially younger agents, are like, "Oh, that's too much work," or "There's really no value in that." Why is that face-to-face contact so valuable?
Yes. So let me go pre-COVID just for a minute because it reminded me of something one of our agents said. So he was working in San Francisco and then he came to work with us in the East Bay. And prior to COVID, we would as working, if had a buyer and we had an offer, we would literally go to present our offer in person to the listing agent. And when he came over, he said, "Oh my God, why do you do that? Just email the contract." No, I want to come in with my full positivity and energy and how much my client loves the house, even though it's going to be a price. What are the contingencies, close of escrow? This is what they can afford. I'm coming in there with my energy, my positive energy. How can I, be of service to you and your clients? This is the offer. Please give us an opportunity. So we used to do that in person. Then COVID happened. Now we're emailing offers because we have HomeLight and all these other tools. But so when you, so now I just lost track of so you said, say the question
Yeah,
again.
the face-to-face
Oh,
contact,
face to face.
I
Yes.
know we
Yeah.
can't always do it, but
No, no, I
there's
got it.
something about that in person, right?
It's so important. So I'm in BNI now, Business Networking International, and they really talk about the one-on-one, meetings. And it's better to do it in person. So if I can't, we'll jump on a call or jump on a Zoom. But then I like to follow up. Now let's meet in person. When you meet in person, I mean, you and I now with these podcasts, we're meeting people all over the world. And then you're like, wait, who is that person? Who is that person? So I always try to follow up with a card so people will see, go the extra mile so they see who I am and I'm not just another one of your guests on your podcast. So when you meet in person, like, for instance, I was meeting with the mortgage broker. We met on Zoom. They found me on LinkedIn. I met with him on Zoom. And so when I was in LA, I said, let's meet in LA in person. Now I have a face-to-face connection. We built a deeper bond. Now he's not just someone in this vortex of people. He's someone tangible. I can see, and this is another thing I talk about, see it, touch it, feel it. why we do open houses so people can see us, touch us, feel us or whatever. It's like an actor, an actor's untouchable. And then when they shaking hands with people, they become real. And
That's
we
right.
are like that. We publicize ourselves like an actor publicizes themselves. And so we have to be visible, but we also have to be accessible. I know many times people will meet me, look at me online or whatever, and then they'll meet me in person. And it's like, oh, you're so nice. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the same person, but they don't know until they really get to know and feel you, I think. Not
For sure.
literally, but
Yeah.
being in your presence.
Why do politicians go out and, kiss
Right.
babies and shake hands? It's, they do it
Exactly.
because it's good. It's good business. I like to talk about, in a very practical manner. We have listing appointments, and we deal with a lot of people from overseas. And what most agents do is they have a phone call.
Right.
And I say, why do a phone call? The next best thing, I can't meet them in person, but the
Right.
next best thing is a Zoom. And, one of my favorite stories is I'm competing with 5 other agents for a couple listings. I was the only one to do a Zoom meeting with these folks. Well,
Wow.
of course,
Wow.
we
Yeah.
we won because I had a half-hour Zoom with them, and they felt
Yeah.
a certain way. It makes them feel a certain
Right.
way. They trusted me more than these other agents, and
Right.
and so not only is it good for that connection and the collaboration, but guys and gals listening to our show, they want to know, well, how does this translate into me being more successful? So
Right.
I want
And
to just
likability and trust
that's right.
that's what you were building, likability and trust, and they
Hmm.
were getting to know you
Yeah.
the best way they could with being so remote.
Yeah. So side note, 14 years in BNI. I recently handed off
Oh,
my seat.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I know all the terms, the
Yeah.
visibility, credibility leads to
Right.
profitability, all that. But so I just want to interject here.
Yes.
Debbie, this is good stuff. We're saving that big gold nugget for the end. So those of you listening to Best Advice Ever, we're going to save the huge gold nugget for the end. So stay tuned. We want to get a little deeper into the collaboration idea here. And I know that's just one of the many ways that you train, coach, mentor agents on being successful. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about you've written 4 books and working on your fifth. And the one that really caught my interest was Real Estate Rules, 52 Ways to Achieve Success in Real Estate. If you don't mind, just talk about that for a second and let
Sure.
people know where they can find it.
Well, the first rule really, so when the publisher, so I wrote The Art of Real Estate after Contained Beauty because the publisher said, you have to write a real estate book. And I said, I don't have time. He's, no, you have to do it. So I did it. So then a publisher in Vermont reached out to me and said, I'd like you to write 52 ways to achieve success in real estate. We have a rules book. So whatever it is, the rules of public relations, the rules of advertising, whatever the rules are. And I said, oh, I just don't have time. There's no way I can do that. And she's like, no, Debbie, you already have it in your book. The Art of Real Estate is so thick. You just needed to come up with 52 rules. Just pull it right out of your book and then we'll edit it way down. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. So of course, like I do, I open up a Google Doc and I start typing away and way too much information. She had to edit way back, but it is in this compact book. It is illustrated by Steve Hickner from DreamWorks. It is so easy. If you are stuck on anything, you just open it right up. Okay, an easy one. Be on time. Put the right offer on the table. Sometimes people put offers are filled with things that do not need to be in there.
Hmm.
Um, Try a sketch. If the house doesn't look good yet because you haven't had a chance to paint it and do the landscaping, have the artist, well, now with AI, you can get a sketch way easier than paying
That's right.
$250 for our person. Don't skip the print. Print there. The older people still like print. They come in with that brochure or that postcard that they kept, and then they come in like, oh, I've been saving this for so long. So you have to do it all. But my number one rule is, and this example came out of we were on a road trip back from Colorado taking our son to college, and I was working on a deal, of course, because you're always working on a deal no matter where you are in the world.
Right.
And this mortgage person who I didn't know because we had the listing, the mortgage broker said, oh, we're closing tomorrow. And I'm like, and I had barely any reception. We were somewhere but in Utah in the middle of nowhere. And I said, well, we can't. First of all, you need to tell me everything because I'm the captain of the ship. This is the rules called the realtor's the captain of the ship. That's not what I told him at the time, but no, sir. I said, I'm the listing agent. I need to know what's going on because I have a seller in a house. The seller needs to know because the seller has to plan to move. You can't all of a sudden move the close up and say we're closing tomorrow and think you're going to get the house. It doesn't work that way. So that was very easy. So that was a vivid example because so the real estate agents at the top, we have to keep in communication with the buyer's agent. We have to keep in touch with the title company. We have our transaction coordinators. We need our sellers. We need to move it all around. There's so many moving parts that everyone needs to be informed. I mean, even between Adam and I, we need to be informed so we don't overlap emails, we don't say the same information, we don't say different information. We know when it's closing, and it's timely, right? Things can all of a sudden something the other day closed 2 days early, and so had the house not been empty, it would have been an issue, but it was already destaged and everything, and my buyer closed early. Okay, but you just need to be informed because there's so many parties that need to be informed. So the realtor is the captain of the ship. Not that they're bossy, they just need to keep all the parts moving and all the parts going in the right direction. And there's already too many glitches that can come up because it's very personal and there are people. There's a lot of people involved.
That's right. And this is another layer of collaboration too. So that collaboration isn't
Yes.
just agent to agent, it's between clients, it's all the third-party providers of services, title, mortgage. And I think the critical part of that is that the collaboration affects the experience of the client.
Yes,
So you want your
absolutely.
clients to have a positive experience. That collaboration between all these parties generates five-star reviews from clients, right?
Right. And so we had two deals that just closed. Everything, the first one, everything was going great. There were five offers. We got the little nudge to go a little higher to get the deal. We had good terms. So because I was endearing myself again to this agent who I actually didn't know. We got the deal. It was great. I was super happy. Then towards the end of the deal, I was like, the sellers were still living there, which is unusual here. Usually people are already moved out and it's staged and no one's living there. Well, in this case, they were living there. Now I've been doing this 35 years. I told the buyer's agent, now they're not my buyer, right? So I can't speak to the buyer, but I can speak to the buyer's agent. You
Mhm.
need to get them out. We're closing on either Monday or Tuesday, so they need to be out. Oh, they'll be out Saturday. Oh, they'll be out Sunday. Okay, do you know we have an appointment on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, so they need to be out. Well, these people, first time in 35 years, they did not get out. My husband went over there from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. after close to sit there and wait for them to get out. The next morning, they had a few more things. They're supposed to be out at 6:30. They were not. He went back there again for a couple hours in the morning. Now this is past, and they also missed their fumigation appointment. Everything got set back. There was nothing we could have done because we don't have control over the buyer, and the listing agent shouldn't really step up. So all we could do was help and keep in communication with our client and just show, like, by Adam being there for 4 hours till 10 at night, like, we are doing everything humanly possible rather than calling the police. So it worked out, but because we were there supporting them, but they didn't need to have that taste of, how something could go like that. And I'm like, what could we have done? I mean, the people told my husband, we don't need to be out. What do you mean you don't need to be out? That's one. And then let's go to the really positive one. Alexis and I were working together she was a listing agent, I had the buyer, and we would communicate, and it was my very first VA loan. So it's 100% financing. I've never done a VA loan. The lender had maybe done one or two, but we just kept in communication, and we needed certain contingencies in a VA loan, and the seller was amenable. They knew we had the money, we knew it was approved and we knew it would happen, but we needed a little bit more time, which we usually don't get here in our market. And it just worked out back and forth, and we closed early, and I sent her a thank you note, and she said this was like such a great deal, such a great transaction working with you. we just worked together. We completely collaborated in a very nice way.
Okay, good stuff. I do want to mention those of you who are listening to Debbie and saying, wow, I want more. I want to hear more of what this gal has to say. Your new podcast home is Debbi, Debbi, podcast.com, and it's Mastering the Art of Success. So you've gone big even outside of real estate. So not only have you achieved this amazing success in real estate, but I think entrepreneurs and business owners in general could benefit from that. So that's where we can get more Debbi DiMaggio. Anything you want to add there on the podcast?
Yeah, so Mastering the Art of Success is going on a year and a half, when it started, I didn't know what direction it would take, but because I come from that helping others and wanting others to grow, and that's what my books are about, it ended up being just inviting realtors and coaches and people on the podcast so they can help others with their success. But you don't have to just be a realtor to watch Mastering the Art of Real Estate and now Mastering the Art of Success. It's anyone who will benefit with the service, product, or brand. It's not just realtors. A lot of us do the same thing, whatever career we're in. So now I have founders and CEOs, and so many more people are coming to me. So I decided let's make it broader to Mastering the Art of Success. And it's so fun. I meet so many cool people, and I will tell you, if you listen to it, you will love these guests. They just have so much information. And it again, they're like us, they're very like-minded. And with that, let's go on to the other benefit of podcasting, other than the ability to meet people. But as realtors, we make money also on referrals. Now, no, I wouldn't just refer anyone. I make sure I either know them, or I usually go to my referral sources, whether it's through Hote Living or Give Back Homes or these other networks I'm a part of. I'm now a part of a mastermind group. So we have a group chat, and I needed a realtor in Paris. And within seconds, I had a realtor in Paris that was vetted by these top agents that I'm in a mastermind with. So that's the other thing about collaboration, not just in a deal. And again, this goes to podcasting and connecting and helping others. We're all realtors. We are collaborating. There is no competition there. We're sharing information across all different companies. So back to the podcasting, I'm interviewing agents and business people, and there's so many opportunities for referrals and growing your business that way. But you also want to make sure you are giving your client or one of your agent's clients a really good, solid, like-minded purpose, someone who cares and has knowledge and experience and skill, not someone just because you might get a referral fee. It has to be a really good person. It's your reputation. All we have is our reputation and our integrity as a real estate person. There's many real estate agents out there.
Yeah, our referrals reflect back on us. And like you, I
Yes.
agree. I believe that those business owners and people like us, they're huge referral sources. So not only can we learn from them, I think we can take so much from other industries and apply it to our own business in real life, apply it, but also by collaborating with those other business owners. What's the number one source of business for real estate agents from the beginning of time until now? It's sphere, right? It's sphere, referrals, past clients. And by building your sphere with these relationships, you're just adding to your potential business. And I think that's the home run of collaboration. And like we said, best advice ever, gold nugget. I wanted to bring this full circle. And so, people listening are saying, hey, collaboration, it sounds nice, it's warm and fuzzy, but does it really help you grow your business?
Through referrals, absolutely. When you are collaborating, now again, not just collaborating with the agents you're doing deals with or in your company or other companies, when you're collaborating outside of your network now, because of Zoom nationally and internationally, I just referred a client to someone in Marbella, Spain. The world is just open to you. So get to know other agents from around the world. Don't be single-minded. Think bigger. And when you're giving, and a lot of the times I'm just giving us agents in our mastermind, we're giving other agents names. So we're not making the referral on those, but They know. So after I asked for a referral for another agent in Paris, the other agent, one of the agents in the group, there was 133 people in our group, and he said, Debbi is amazing. So that he said that unsolicited to 133 agents across the country. And those, you think those people are not going to remember? And I'm constantly helping build that group. So when you're giving, things will start to come back. It's been a short time the group is around, but we are all giving information, we're sharing information, and there is no competition in that.
Yeah. And it brings up, you started to say it earlier, know, like, and trust, having these relationships, having these mastermind groups, so I would challenge agents out there, join these mastermind groups, get involved with people and having a referral where, oh, I know this person and they, produce a lot. I've heard their name is totally different than I know, like, and trust Debbi DiMaggio from
Correct.
Piedmont, San Francisco Bay Area, and then be able to say something about her. She does this, this, and this. She's written 4 books, soon to be 5, and does her own podcast. This is the person you want. And to be able to give a referral with that much gusto has power, and that's how you build a sphere. That's how you collaborate in this business. And that's how it becomes profitable too.
Right. And with that, I did think of something. So, again, we're out there, we're advertising, we're blogging, we're sharing information. People will call me and say, you don't know me, but I know you are the person to go to for
Hmm.
resources, right? Someone called me the other day and, well, when I go to sell, I'm going to use you instead of so and so because I see you out there. I know what you're doing. I see you giving back. And you don't know who's watching, right? So when you're at
Right.
an open house,
Yeah.
people come and they know who you are. So don't think that you're this invisible person. You're a public figure. And so we've gotten listings. People have come to our listings and we've seen how you present your properties, and then that turns into profitability because people are seeing and watching what you've done over the years, not just like a week ago, but over the years. And when it's comes time to sell, they've seen what you've done. So you've
Yeah.
already been interviewing for that job for years and you didn't even
That's right. So, Debbi, I'm going to throw a curveball at you here, okay? And I know you're a pro, so you're going to knock it out of the park. So, many of our listeners don't have 35 years experience or 18 years experience like I do, and they don't have that track record. And they say, oh, that's easy for you guys to say, you've had all that time to do, but how could I possibly do that? I'm new, or I've only been in the business 5 years. What do you say to that agent?
I would say go to foundationforsuccess.co, which is my course. I put it on school for free. It's every home needs a strong foundation, just as every business needs a strong foundation. So I created a program a couple years ago called Foundation for Success, and it talks about 5 pillars. So you can go on foundation, the number 4, success.co. But more importantly, if you just spend 1 month with me once a week with a one-on-one coaching, not only will you understand it, but will implement it. You can read it and go, oh, I get it. But to implement, like right now, I'm on a spiral on AI. It's like, oh my God, there's so much
So much.
information.
Mhm.
It's like I wish someone would just sit with me and we can go through and implement. And like the on my mastermind the other day, we got so much information. So you're going to look at Foundation for Success, even though it's out there. And I'm glad it's out there because when I asked AI to clean something up, they could pull from everywhere. They already
Yeah.
had my content. It's free. So I'm going to teach that on Monday night to a group, Gary Wilson's group, and it is 5 pillars for foundation. I'll just touch on a few. So the importance of social media, and we get all your platforms all organized and aligned. A new one I'm working with, part of social media, Substack, I love. Um, it's about handwritten notes, being personal, doing one-on-ones. It's about creating forums like podcasts or events. I do an event called Seniors Next Chapter. I help people with the downsizing process. So I've just got a wealth of information. But if you just start with the foundation now, I think new agents take forever to get their license. They get their license and then they come to the office like they're at the first day of college and they're like, what do I do? So if you build your foundation from the beginning, and I've worked on, different platforms for newsletters, different this and that. I've already weeded through it all, and I'm constantly rebranding. I mean, it doesn't matter that I've done it 35 years. Things change, your taste change, your brand changes, you're trying to, there more tools are offered to us. So then we try to clean things up. So it's always evolving. And that's what I've been doing since 4:15 this morning.
Yep, and I couldn't agree
Rebranding.
more. Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. There's a saying, every long journey starts with that first step. So, oh, you don't have any videos? Fine, make the first one. You don't have a podcast? Do an episode. You don't have a newsletter? Everything. Just you have to start, and you have to start building. And so I love that you talk about the foundation. Lay the foundation, and everything else is just excuses and stories.
Right.
Oh, I haven't been doing it that long. Start today.
Yeah,
Simple as
and
that.
that's my fifth book, Mindset in Motion. The Mindset in Motion method is no is not an option. That is absolutely, I don't hear
So
that.
that's the fifth book. Go ahead and mention it.
My working title, it talks about mindset in motion, and I talk about what I've created called the mindset in motion method. I also talk about the lock-in method, and it is broken down. My last name is DiMaggio. I am third cousins to Joe. I'm not a big athlete, but I break it down like it's in a game, the beginning of the game, the middle, the end, and that's how the chapters are broken out very clearly. And I love it. It's again, it just kind of, it came to me like a lot of things, like the podcast and different things. It just was something I felt like I had to do. It wasn't a strict goal of mine. It just kind of materialized, and I went with it. So that's the other thing. Follow your intuition. And the one piece of advice from Mindset in Motion is just get into motion, whether you feel like it or not.
Yep, got to start. So, Debbie, we will have dropped your contact information all throughout this show, but I wanted you here at the end to maybe throw something out there. Like, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to follow you
Sure.
and see what you're doing? What's your
Yeah.
favorite way?
I think the easiest way right now is because I am finally really working after a year and a half now to get my podcast out there and get subscribers because it's now on my own channel. So going to debbipodcast.com, and I have all my links there. I'm on Instagram, Debbi DiMaggio. Everything is under Debbi DiMaggio, but it's Debbi for Debbie, and DebbiDiMaggio.com. You can always call me. I'll take your call, answer your questions. If we want to go further, we can. But if someone called me and had a question, I'd be more than happy to answer it. It's just who I am.
I know.
510-414-6777. Thank you.
Awesome. Such good stuff today. I knew this was going to be a home run. I'm using a lot of baseball analogies today. But thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure, and we look forward to talking to you some more. And this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll look for some referrals in Cleveland, and I think I have a friend there that I'll connect you. And I don't know if they bought a house yet, but I will connect you.
Wonderful. Best advice ever. Thanks for being here, everybody. And again, if you want to get a hold of me, go to 21mike.com, click that little button at the top, and schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. All right. Until next time, thanks for being here.